Everybody, it is the Macabre Tavern back. Today, we are starting Monochrome Monday. All your favorites in black and white. Well, at least this time, my favorite in black and white. And we got a good one to start things off. Ladies and gentlemen, we're starting off with one of the earliest pre-code horror films. It's The Most Dangerous Game. Now, The Most Dangerous Game is a 1932 pre-code horror film directed by Ernest B. Shotestak and Irving Pritchell. It features Joel McCrea, Fay Wray, yes, that Fay Wray, and Leslie Banks. The movie adaptation is the 1924 short story from Richard Carnell. It is the first version of the story that was put into film. The UK would release a film a few years later called The Hounds of Zaroff. So, let's get into it. A luxury yacht sailing through the channel off the northeastern coast of South America. Amongst the passengers is a big game hunter and author, Robert Rainsford. In discussing the sport with other passengers, Rainsford is asked if he would exchange places with the animals he hunts. After the yacht's owner disregards the captain's concern about the channel lights not matching the charts, the ship runs aground, takes on water, and explodes. The passengers survive the shipwreck, but a shark attack quickly kills two passengers as they cling to the floating wreckage. Ultimately, Robert is the lone survivor, able to swim ashore to a small island nearby. He notices the channel lights off the shoreline change and suspects the ship was deliberately led off course to its doom. Rainsford stumbles across a chateau where he becomes the first guest of expatriate Russian Count Zaroff, a fellow hunting enthusiast who is familiar with Rainsford and his writings. Zaroff says four other survivors made it: Eve Trowbridge and her alcoholic brother Martin, and two sailors. Later, Zaroff introduces Rainsford to the Trowbridges and tells them his obsession with hunting becoming boring until he discovered the most dangerous game on the island. That's what we call foreshadowing. Rainsford doesn't understand Zaroff, who fails to explain further. Eve is suspicious of Zaroff and tells Rainsford that the two sailors that survive with them have not been seen since each of them visited Zaroff's trophy room. During the night, when Martin also vanishes, Eve and Rainsford go to the trophy room where they find the trophies are human heads. Zaroff appears with Martin's body. Now realizing what prey Zaroff hunts, Rainsford calls him a madman and has to be restrained. Rainsford refuses Zaroff's offer to join him in hunting humans, and Zaroff tells Rainsford that he must be the next prey. Like those before him, Rainsford will be turned loose at dawn, given a hunting knife and some provisions, and allowed the entire day to roam the island until midnight, when Zaroff begins his hunt. If Rainsford survives till 4 a.m., then Rainsford wins the game, and Zaroff will give him the keys to the boathouse so they can leave the island. Zaroff then says he has never lost with what he terms outdoor chess. Eve decides to go with Rainsford. Zaroff tells Eve he will not hunt her since she is a woman, but if Rainsford loses, she must return with him. The pair spend most of the day setting a trap for Zaroff, but when the hunt begins, Zaroff discovers the trap and begins the cat-and-mouse pursuit of Rainsford. Eventually, Rainsford and Eve are trapped by a waterfall. When Rainsford is attacked by a hunting dog, Zaroff fires a shot with his rifle. Both Rainsford and the dog falls into the water below. Presuming Rainsford is dead, Zaroff takes Eve back to his fortress to enjoy the surprise. However, Rainsford returns to the chalet, explaining the dog was shot and not him. Zaroff admits defeat and presents the key to the boathouse, but Rainsford discovers him holding a gun behind his back. Rainsford fist fights Zaroff and then his henchman, killing the henchman and mortally wounding Zaroff. Rainsford and Eve sped away in the motorboat. The dying Zaroff tries to shoot them from a window with a bow. Unsuccessful, he succumbs to his wounds and falls into the pack of his frenzied hunting dogs below, implying that he has become their prey. So there you go. The notable members of this cast, like we said, Joel McRae. Fay Ray was Eve Tobridge. Leslie Banks was Count Zaroff. Robert Armstrong was Martin Tobridge. I don't know. I just had a problem right there. Noble Johnson, Sam Clementi, Dutch Henderson, William B. Davidson, James Flavin, Hale Hamilton, and Lander Stevens. So there you go. The Most Dangerous Game. This is actually a really fun movie. If you are a fan of movies that aren't too gory, but has a ton of tension in the movie, this is definitely one of them. I will say this: you will be cheering for Martin to die rather quickly because you find out how much of a asshole he is when he's drunk. It's really embarrassing. Just let me put it that way. He's just really as an embarrassing drunk. Plays a great embarrassing drunk. I'll just say that. This is one of Fay Ray's last movies before she would go on to shoot King Kong. And I mean, this is a great movie. Everybody should definitely check this one out. It's a really early movie, and I think you'll enjoy it. I really do. I think you'll enjoy it. And there's been several adaptations since. But this one, of course, is the original. So that's going to take care of Monochrome Monday for this week. We'll see you next week.